Hi, this is Derek doing another review for HorrorNerds.com. This time we're going to be talking about Entrails of a Virgin. This is one of the most classic Pinku Japanese horror films ever made. Its original title was Shoujo no Harewata, and it was directed by Kazuo Gaeta Koimizu, and also written by Kazuo Koimizu, and stars Sayako Kizuki as the main character Rei, Naomi Hajio, Megumi Kawashima, Osamu Tsuruoka, and a few more people. Basically, this movie came out about May of 1986, and it was followed up with Entrails of a Beautiful Woman, and I believe there was one more, sort of like a trilogy. I think it was The Inquisitor. But this is just one of those classic Pinku horror films that were traded around on VHS tapes in the 80s by American people, so much so that it almost kind of looked like a snuff film, except bad acting, and, the camera sort of gave it away that it wasn't. A lot of the sex scenes in this movie were sort of fogged up, as typical of Japanese films at that time, to try to, I don't want to say, make it somehow less sexy or whatever, and I don't know if there's really anything truly sexy about this movie, but it just adds to the mystique of what I think Kazuo was trying to do with the film. Kazuo had been working in the Pinku industry for a while up to this point, and I think was sort of a last minute idea to inject a horror element to it, because most of this movie is about S&M and sex. I mean, the whole idea is a film crew making a softcore porn, in a warehouse, but one by one they all get picked off. The item of horror that they injected into it was, a demon with an extremely large penis, and it just gets weirder from there. If I were to stop now with this review, you'd probably shake your head and go, "What?" But what makes it essential, what makes it a classic, aside from it just being, old enough but yet still relevant in discussions of Pinku genre, is the fact that, the acting really wasn't half bad. And on top of that, the Pinku genre has its own class, its own style, its own rules, and this movie follows them all beautifully. It's one of the main reasons I think Pinku films survived during the 80s, because, Pinku was really a large genre back in the 70s for Japanese filmmakers, and then it saw like a huge revival, I would say almost a resurgence in the 80s, and it's largely because of Shoujo no Harewata. Entrails of Virgins is amazing, and for what it is, and it's you'll always see it as part of the Asian Cult Classic collections. You'll always see people talking about it. There are a few scenes that are truly, not sexy, but, mixing sex with violence has always been sort of a taboo idea. Pinku does it effortlessly. It's definitely something that, if you're looking for high quality production value, it's not here. And if you're looking for movies that make sense, it's definitely not here. Even the sequels, you can't even call them sequels, because as is the tradition with most Asian horror movies, Entrails of a Beautiful Woman, it doesn't really pick up where this movie left off per se. It's just another movie that's part of the Pinku trilogy of films or so that Kazuo decided to make, with the name Entrails in it and so on. I will say this, though, I'm a big, huge lover of Pinku films. I have probably over 100 of them from the 70s on up, and, this is always a good one to throw in, the DVD player every now and then and watch and sort of smile and just think that, back then, to be making this kind of stuff, again, by today's standards, it's nothing, but, for what it was, it has a nice quality to it, especially if you want to watch, Asian horror films or Asian Pinku films, and by Pinku, I've been saying that a couple times now. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a specialized type of movie that dealt mostly with sex. It's basically how far can you get with having sex on the camera without actually showing, penetration and things like that. And Pinku takes it almost to that absolute limit, and in some cases, that even shows it. I'm thinking of, in the realm of the senses, but I don't even know if that would necessarily be qualify as a Pinku film. Anyways, that's a whole other discussion. I will say this: Entrails of a Virgin satisfies. It delivers. It's definitely worth your time to watch. It is a good introduction to Pinku films. It's probably, if you were to ask me what movie should I get, Derek, to watch that are Pinku, this would be in the top 5, hands down. And if you liked it, you'll definitely like the other ones that came after it by Kazuo, because they all have the same style, same feel, same flavor. Just a lot more sex, a lot more brutality, definitely a lot more gore. It just gets more and more as the years go on, as you can tell. But for a 1986 release of a Pinku title that involved horror and a crazy demon, not bad. Very much not bad. So this is Derek, another review for HorrorNerds.com. Go watch this movie. It's worth your time. Watch it a couple of times. Watch some friends. Watch it at a dinner table. Just kidding on that last one. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.